So precious, and we know that. So we are very, very thankful for you guys just joining in, those that are able to watch the playback, and just thank you so much. So the purpose of this is just to make sure to update our advocates on what is going on. This is our first video. First live video that we've done since we started Tennessee Fertility Advocates, so we are so excited about it. But we just want to give you some clarity and transparency as where we stand, what is going on, and ways that you can help be involved. So, Lauren, why don't you really quick just introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Lauren Brown. Molly and I have actually known each other since we were 5 years old. We both grew up here in Carterville, Tennessee, right outside of Memphis. And we have fortunately and unfortunately gone through fertility treatments together. My husband and I, it took about 1.5 years for us to get pregnant with our daughter, Catherine. We have unexplained infertility, which I know many of you have out there. We did several IUIs. We had a miscarriage before our daughter, and we're actually in the process now going through treatments for the second time. So I'm right there with a lot of you. So please lean on us for any support or guidance you guys need through this. So that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. Yeah, so my name is Molly Walker. I too struggle with infertility for years. I cannot ovulate on my own, and also had, unfortunately, 2 really tough miscarriages in between both of my children. And Lauren was the one that actually told me about Dr. Bailey at Fertility Associates of Memphis. Huge shout out to her because she has been such a godsend to me. But she helped discover I had antiphospholipid antibody syndrome, so a blood clotting disorder is what that means. And we started treating that with the ovulation issue, and years went by, thousands of dollars later, no insurance coverage. And we now have 2 beautiful children, a 5-year-old little girl and a 2-year-old little boy. And it was worth every single penny. But you know what? It's just unfortunate that people do not have coverage. So I, along with Lauren, are here to say, like, it needs to be better, and it will be better in the state of Tennessee and with employers. And so it just takes some voices speaking up. And so, yeah, that's my story. And Lauren, why don't you just give them a brief introduction about what Tennessee Fertility Advocates is, what our purpose is, and then we'll just jump right in it.
Yeah, so Molly and I actually in March participated in a federal advocacy day for fertility coverage, and it kind of got us talking, and just why does Tennessee not have that? There's 19 other states in the country that have a mandate to require this. So we're like, let's do something about it. Like, this affects us. It affects 1 in 6 people, and we want to be, God put this on us for a reason, and we want to do something with that. Yeah. So that's kind of how and why we started Tennessee Fertility Advocates with an amazing group of other people.
Yeah.
So we're a pro-family group of Tennesseans here to advocate for fertility coverage at the state level. We're helping equip advocates with tools and resources that they need to have discussions with their employers about adding coverage as well.
And then also, too, on that I would add is we are here to just bring awareness to, hey, if you're going through infertility, male factor, female factor, unexplained infertility, you're not alone. It is nothing to be ashamed of. It is a disease. And having people like us or the support of Tennessee Fertility Advocates to say, hey, I've been there, you are not alone. Even though it feels like you're alone, it is probably the most depressing and isolating thing if you allow it. But God has been so great to show at least myself, and I know Lauren as well, and all these other advocates of, hey, you are not alone, and I am with you, and you can use your pain for good. Mary Ann Denevant, who's on here, she said, you got to give your pain a purpose. And that is exactly what we're doing with Tennessee Fertility Advocates. We're giving our pain a purpose, and we want you all to jump in and do the same with us. So that's about Tennessee Fertility Advocates. Also, throughout this or at the end, we will definitely have a Q&A session, so you can chat questions if you have them, or you're welcome to wait at the end. If we have any, we're welcome to take them. But one thing that we know is this is going to be a very heavy lift. For those of you that don't know about the political climate in Tennessee, it is very conservative. We know that this is an uphill battle, and that's okay. We are in it for the long haul, and we're ready to do the work, and we have done the work, and y'all have helped do the work. So the good thing is that we've seen a lot of states, some conservative ones, some Republican states, kind of gone before us and say, hey, this is how we got it done. Let me give you all the tools and resources that we have, and we can really help in that effort. So thank you to all the states that have reached out and helped us along the way to get us where we are today. And huge thank you to Fertility Within Reach and all the other organizations that have played such a huge role, Starfish and Fertility Foundation, Chelsea Codwell with Family Inceptions, and just a lot of key players that have been so helpful for us. So with that being said, we're just going to go to our first point really quick. So we wanted to just give you a brief update on our advocacy work, social media, website, and those things. So if you don't know, we have Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, obviously, and we have an email too, tnfertilityadvocates@gmail.com. If you go to our Facebook page and go to the Files tab, we have a picture with all of our social media handles. Please share. We post graphics almost every single day. Go and share those for us. Tag Tennessee Fertility Advocates. At the end of the day, this is not just a Memphis, Tennessee or Collierville, Tennessee or a white female issue. Infertility, unfortunately, it doesn't have any discrimination against what your race is, how much money you make, if you're male, if you're female, if you're white, if you're whatever, it doesn't matter. Infertility affects everyone, so we need advocates across the state to jump in. As I said, we have a website. Thank you, Kim, for helping us with that.
Yes.
GoDaddy has been amazing. If you haven't used it, it's very easy and user-friendly. But the website is www.tnfertilityadvocates.com. You will find an About Us content. Meet the team. Oh my gosh, y'all, go meet the team. Read about these people because they are phenomenal. We could not do it. This is not a Molly Walker and a Lauren Brown deal. This is like a team effort. And so
Absolutely.
Please go read about that. We also have it in the news section, facts, statistics, a new tab. It's called Talking to Your Employer. We're really proud of. And then the most important one you could do is the Take Action tab. If you have not completed our survey, it literally takes 2 minutes. Go do that. It is something that only Lauren and I see, but it helps us see what districts we're missing advocates at, where we have a lot of advocates, who is leading those efforts. So please, please go to the Take Action section on our website if you have not done the survey. And the next point that we want to talk about is the legislation part. So just so you know, we are not going to get too deep in the woods to that today. We just want to do a brief overview for you guys. But when it comes to legislation, we will be doing Zoom calls with advocates. We will equip you with one-pagers. We have this beautiful one-pager thanks to Fertility Within Reach. And it has all kinds of facts and graphs about the state of Tennessee and infertility impact and how infertility coverage would make a difference in the state. And we will be giving you all those resources in the months to come. So no worries there. But just know that we are working on legislation. It's basically pretty much, it's really good. It's really good.
I think inclusive.
It's very inclusive. We've had doctors, attorneys, politicians, fertility organizations take a look at it, and we feel very confident with the legislation that we have, that it is what is best for the state of Tennessee. It doesn't look like any other states, but you know what? Tennessee is different, and we are really excited for the legislation to come. So when it comes to legislation, if you don't know, which I didn't know a lot about this until I got started, but you need a lobbyist. A lobbyist is going to be super helpful when presenting this legislation to our General Assembly. So with that being said, lobbyists come with a really great price tag. And that price tag is around $40,000 to $80,000. So one of our efforts is working on funding, and that is something else that we'll get into in a minute. But we are working on funding for a lobbyist. A lobbyist is going to really be instrumental with helping us talk to insurance companies, setting up those appointments with our state legislators, helping us find sponsors, and not just any sponsor for the bill, y'all. We want sponsors that are champion sponsors that are willing to say, you know what, my daughter has infertility, my grandchild had infertility, my best friend did, I did, male factor or female factor. That is what we're really looking for, and we want people to say, you know what, yes, like as a state, we could do better. And we, it's a disease. Like she said, 1 in 6 go through it. It is a disease. It is no different than my mom being a diabetic. Infertility is a disease. So we are working on a lobbyist that will help us with key connections that we desperately need. Our main goal with the legislation is to have this presented hopefully the next session, which is in January 2021, which will be here before we know it. And we just have to make sure that we get the funding raised in time. So if we don't, that's okay. You know what? It wasn't in the Lord's timing. We will wait till next session and it will be just fine. But we are doing everything that we can to make that happen. And we just really need your guys' voice. We need your help along the way. And we really need some prayers too, just for the right people to come in our path to help make this happen. So, will be doing a video to follow up on the legislative efforts, and very excited for all that is to come. We will give you every kind of legislative tool you'll need, even from templates to send out to your legislators. Anything you need, we are going to be able to provide it for you when the time is right. So just know that. Lauren, why don't you tell them a little bit about the media portion?
Yeah, so we are currently working on growing our media channels, not just in Memphis or the Mid-South. We want media channels across the state. Again, this is not a Memphis issue.
Right.
This is an issue across our state. Molly did an amazing interview with Jeremy Parks, like I said, with City Current. It's a great tool to send out, but we need media contacts across the state. Like, we don't know people in Chattanooga and Knoxville and Nashville, so we really want to work on that and get out our message across the state. Molly just submitted a op-ed for the commercial appeal that was approved. So as soon as that gets published, yes, we will make sure and send that out to you guys so you can see that as well. Dr. Erica Kay, she actually wrote an incredible piece for the New England Journal of Medicine to talk about physicians, how they have infertility at a much higher rate, 1 in 4 actually. And it's an amazing piece that is also on our website. And she did an interview with a local news outlet here in town that's phenomenal as well. Memphis Moms blog, they are going to highlight us in their September issue, which is amazing. They have an amazing readership, and they're just an incredible organization.
Yes.
Miss Frances Jones with Heart's Desire, she actually did a piece on us recently as well, which you can find on our Facebook page. And again, just huge thank you to Fertility Within Reach and Kim that have just blessed us beyond measure with helping us do the website and social media. They're just such a blessing to us, and we're just so thankful to have them.
Absolutely. So the next thing we're going to cover, and then we'll be done here in just a few, but the next thing is just your employer. Y'all, if you work at an employer that does not offer coverage, now is the time to say something. So, coming from someone who worked for a large employer that was based in Memphis, Tennessee, I spoke up, and you all can speak up just as much. Your story matters. Your voice matters. And if they do not hear from you, they don't know, because they probably aren't going through it. But they might. They might know someone that's been affected. So we just uploaded on our Facebook files a very helpful sheet that has some wonderful article links, has some great steps on who to find, who to talk to, how to rally the troops. We have a lot more info coming, and we're currently working with some pretty great employers right now as far as getting coverage added. So super excited about that. And then again, when it comes to employers, we added a section on our website, www.tnfertilityadvocates.com, and it's called Talking to Your Employer. So be sure to check that out on the website. Huge shout out to True Green, International Paper, MCR Safety, Helena Chemical. Those are just a few that we've been really blessed to talk to that have told us why they decided to add coverage. So if you know of a Tennessee-based employer that has coverage, or maybe doesn't have coverage, but you want us to help, let us know. Send us a message, but really check out the Files tab and our website, because there's a lot of helpful information there. But I will say quickly about True Green, one of their advocates spoke up and told her story, and they all agreed that this is a no-brainer. They should add it. And then they also added adoption coverage. So it can always, there is always good that can happen from speaking up. So raise your voice, rally the troops, and speak up to your employer. Next, I want to cover some call to action steps. First, we have a question. Let's answer that here. Let's see. Are the
fertility clinics in support?
Are the fertility clinics in support? Sometimes they prefer not to work with insurance companies because the negotiated allowances are so low. Yes. Do you want to answer that?
Yeah, I can speak for the one here we have in Memphis that Molly and I go to. They are helping us in any way they can. Dr. Amelia Bailey was our doctor when we had our daughter, and I currently see Dr. Raymond Key, and Dr. Amelia has helped us with the legislation and helped with a lot of this. She's incredible. So I will say they are helpful.
As far as other clinics go, we actually have had some really good phone calls with a few of the other ones across the state, and right now we are actually in the middle of trying to reach office managers across the state at their locations. We need them to share this on their social media. We need them to share it with their patients. We have made a beautiful 4x9 flyer for our OB clinics and our doctor clinics. So they are being printed right now as we speak. If you go to our Facebook Files tab, you could download a PDF version. All of y'all, some of y'all might be going to the doctor this week. I don't know. Print it out and take it to them and say, hey, please email them or talk to them, or they will reach out to you, or let me know who you talk to, or same for Lauren. And help us open the door and say, you know what, we need you to be supportive of it from a clinic's perspective, because we need as many clinics on board. But so far we've had nothing but positive efforts and responses, I guess, back.
Yeah.
And so, yes, so that is a great question. Thank you so much for asking. Thank you.
Davina, she's on here. She is kind of the master at all things infertility coverage. So if you have any questions, Fertility Within Reach,
yes,
they can help as well. They're phenomenal.
They have been so tremendous.
Yes.
Very, very, very tremendous.
And she has worked with clinics across the United States, so
yeah,
she can answer that on a much broader scale than Molly and I can.
Yeah. So let's see. We mentioned about the survey. One important thing about the survey, if you do, it will help you get our newsletter. And so we want to hear your story. If you do want to share your story, we want to feature you on our Meet the Advocates, which is very important. And if you don't, that's okay. We respect it. For years, I didn't know anybody that went through it, and it was devastating. I knew her, and that was it. And I promised myself I will be vocal about it, because I can't let people go through it alone. I just can't. But everybody has a timeline for that, and a lot of people are more private, and I respect it, and so does Lauren. And so we are never here to push. We respect privacy, but we do want to help you if you do want to share your story. We want to help be that platform for you. And yeah, Lauren, you want to tell them about some
contacts? If you have any media contacts, politician relationships, lobbyists, we want to just talk to people in the state, and just, even if they can't help, we just want to pick their brain, because we're learning as we go through this. So any wisdom or guidance we can, get from, or even if your employer offers coverage, like, why did they offer that? We want to know. So when we speak with other employers, we have that kind of ready to go. And then anybody that wants to contribute financially, like Molly said, a lobbyist costs $40,000 to $80,000, and why that's so important is lobbyists put us in contact with insurance companies or other legislators to talk about what we're trying to do and help push this forward. So if you have any contacts across the state, just let us know. You can email us at tnfertilityadvocates@gmail.com. And then participate and share on social media. Just like you're here tonight, we so appreciate you taking your Sunday night to be with us. So invite your friends, your family, anybody that knows you're going through this. They don't have to personally be going through this to participate and to advocate for us.
Yeah, I know on here we've had some girlfriends of ours that are on. My mom, she'll write a letter all day long because that's her daughter going through it. And same for her family. So anybody that you think would stand up on your behalf, invite them to the group, because you never know who they know that will help us move the needle forward in Tennessee. So please share the word and invite. Okay, next, I kind of hit on this earlier, but talk to your doctor. Again, you can download the 4x9 handout. You can give that to them. Speak to your OB. I know my OB, he is awesome and very supportive of this, and encouraged me not long ago and said, keep fighting, because I have a lot of people that would actually really benefit from this. So be sure to speak to your doctors. And if you have any questions along the way, definitely let us know. when it comes to legislative follow-up, so we will host plenty of calls. We're going to try to figure out what works best. Is a virtual Zoom better? Facebook Live? What is the best way to get connected with our advocates? Our goal and vision is to have a lead advocate in key parts of Tennessee. So Kara Edwards from Starfish Infertility, she is our Nashville grassroots lead. If you are in Nashville or any of the surrounding areas, Franklin, Cool Springs, anywhere like that, Kara is your go-to. She's phenomenal. Caitlin as well is in another part of Tennessee, but we want advocates, strong ones in Chattanooga and in Knoxville, male and female. Let us know. We would love, love, love to hear your story and have you help any way possible. So again, share our website, share on social. Y'all, the last thing I'll say is just advocacy matters. Your story matters. It is not fair that you have to go through this without any kind of infertility insurance coverage, and I'm so sorry you do, because I went through it, she went through it, we're all going through it, and it's not fair. However, you know what? Your voice matters, and God didn't give it to us for for no reason. We have a reason for it, and I feel like it is this. And so the last thing I would ask is if you would just join us in praying. Just pray that the Lord would just be so gracious just to give us the wisdom we need. Obviously, again, we are moms. We work full-time. We have jobs. We actually are both I'm in a bank and she's at a credit union. So, but we have a deep passion for this. And, we're not experts by any means. And so we need y'all. Like, we cannot do it alone. We need your help. Anybody and everybody that you know that would be able to connect with us, talk with us, share any kind of wisdom. If you know someone that would love to give financially, obviously, please let us know, as it is a very uphill fight and push, but we are committed to the state of Tennessee. And anybody you know in the media, let us know. But just know you're so important. Can't happen without you.
Yep. We want a family just like everybody else does. And we shouldn't have to be in debt hundreds of thousands of dollars to have our family just like everybody else does. So, that just really speaks to us, and we're here to grow families in the state of Tennessee.
Anybody have any questions? That was kind of all the things that we have. Yay. We can take a breath. But do y'all have any questions for us? I think Caitlin had said something about, do we have, okay, there we go, Anna, great question. Will there be a 501c3 established? So,
it's tricky.
So
the thing with lobbyists is you cannot use fundraising from a 501c3 to fund a lobbyist. So
it has to be 10% of your operating income. So we don't have any operating income right now. It's if we need business cards, we just buy them, or flyers, we just buy them, and then everything else is just the organization, type grassroots effort. So to answer your question, Anna, is we are actually doing some research to see if the 501c3 or C4 is going to be best for us, or if we need to create an LLC to help pay lobbyists. We are actually in discussions with some different attorneys to try to figure out what is the best answer to that. So that is a great question, but a to be continued. If y'all have any insight, please share.
And Natalie, my sister-in-law, where can we donate? We will keep you posted on, how that transpires, whether that's going to be on our website.
If we decide to do a GoFundMe or whatever we decide to do, we will let you know. If you are interested, or say you just have that really, really wealthy uncle that loves you, and by wealthy, I mean really wealthy. If you have one of those in your family, you just let us know, okay? Because I'd love to go meet him and shake his hand. But if you do have it, no, seriously, anybody that would love to contribute or donate, send us an email at tnfertilityadvocates@gmail.com, and we will make sure to update you as soon as we have a method of that as well. And I think there was another question. Caitlin Kelly, I think she had asked about having a public Facebook page. Yes, that is something that we have thought about as well. We like the private page just because some of the stories and things that are shared are more private and matter. Our Instagram is a public page, and we are debating on doing another public Facebook page. We're just, we're not sure at this moment, but yes. Any other questions? Okay, Anna said, please try not to do a GoFundMe. They take 8%.
Good to know.
Great to know.
Yes.
Okay, that is helpful. So, again, we haven't looked past just figuring out if we need a 501c3 or C4. And again, we're just trying to work with some attorneys for some better direction. And anybody that y'all know that'd be willing to speak with us, if you know any state representatives, if you have any connections, let us know. Again, I cannot stress how much we need advocates in Chattanooga and in Knoxville area. Share the word. If you know somebody in the chamber out there, let me know. As a fellow chamber member, love our Carville Chamber and our Carville Rotary. If you know anybody in those two things, let me know so I can make an introduction and a connection there. Let's see. Caitlin just said, I have seen friends share from the group, but when they on their personal, it doesn't show the article. It just shows the group name where friends can request to join, if that makes sense. I'll have to look at that more and talk to you about it.
Help on that.
Yeah. Davina made a good point. Fertility Within Reach has a section on their website about fundraising to afford treatment. Also, Caitlin, when do you want us to start reaching out to representatives? So we hope in a few weeks we will have a much clearer date and a timeline on how that looks. Step number one for us is to really get a lobbyist and try to get the clinics to speak with the clinics and get them on board is very important as well. But the lobbyist is going to really help us find the right representatives that will champion this legislation, as we are working on that too. We actually have a few more different representative appointments. If you know your representative and feel comfortable, you are welcome to call and just say that, infertility coverage is something that is needed and necessary, and you're with Tennessee Fertility Advocates and would love to talk to them more. And then hook us up with a meeting. That would be great. All right, here we go. Are there any connections to groups in other states where this law is mandated? What did they do to be successful? Anna, great question. Yes, absolutely. One is Dr. Christina Julia. She is one of the leads in Colorado Fertility Advocates, which Colorado just passed legislation this April, was signed April 1st. Their representative, Carrie Tipper, I actually found her on Instagram, tagged her, and said I'd love to have a conversation and get this going in Tennessee. We had an hour-and-a-half call. She connected me with all these people, who connected me with Dr. K at St. Jude, who then connected me with Fertility Within Reach. And that's just how this thing works. So Colorado is very successful. Arizona is working. New Hampshire just had a Republican governor sign it into law and last year. So that one is one that we're really looking at. And Davina helped co-write some of that legislation in New Hampshire, which is very key because she's on our team helping us as well.
But yes, we are in connection with other states and what they've done. Tennessee looks very different than a lot of other states, so we're trying to really mold our legislation and what we do to fit Tennessee and what's best for Tennesseans, what Tennessee's goals are, what their objectives are. So that's really important. But yes, we've been in contact with several states that kind of look similar to ours. And Natalie, that is a great point. Any associations or groups that you're a part of, again, this is something that affects a lot of people. So Molly has done a great job at speaking at Rotary in the Chamber about what we're doing and how this is an issue. So we'd love to talk to any kind of associations or groups that you belong to.
Yes, please let us know. We would be happy to do so.
Or have you guys on a guest speaker. So my sister and brother-in-law are both pharmacists. So there's a lot of questions about the different drugs that we take for fertility. So it's a great point.
All right, let's see. Aubrey said, there is a share this video with friends. If we share this, will it show to all or no since it's a private page? Guess just share it and let's see, because we want the more to know, the better on this one. Go for it, honey. Share it. Also, I was just going to say something. Don't you hate it when that happens, when you lose the train of thought on a live feed? If there's any networking events or anything across the state, Melissa, yes, 901 networking, great. But I also, Aubrey, though, I am recording this on my iPad, so I will upload it to our Dropbox, and I will send out the link, or we can upload it to YouTube. you can share it that way. I forgot about that. So yes, on that one.
Friend us on Facebook and we post it on our personal page. Then
friend us on Facebook for sure. Is there anything else that y'all have? This is done. Marianne, it's done on our Tennessee Fertility Advocates page, but I think if I post it on my personal page, it should be able to share. So yes, please share. I can't stress enough, like, this is not an effort of just Lauren and I. It is a team effort, and when I say team, I mean like all the advocates. So get your husbands, get your mamas, get your brothers, and your uncles. Those rich ones too. But no, have everybody come. Spread the word. We will give you all the resources that we possibly can to help you talk to your employer, to help you talk to your legislator, because your voice matters. As, you know, an elected official, they should be listening to their constituents. So, yes, please, please, please share. And, oh, good. Well, Marianne said the live's showing on my personal page. Well, fantastic. Share it everywhere, people.
LaDonna had a great point.
What'd she
started
say?
A watch party.
Oh, LaDonna.
I love you.
Woo, girl. Me and LaDonna went to elementary school together. That's where it's at, girl. That's where it's at.
Dragons.
But seriously, thank you guys so much. Is there any other questions that we could answer right now? I could get into the facts and the data that say why infertility coverage, how that will save employers money, how it will save money on a state level, how it will help increase our birth rate, which is actually decreasing. And so, it's just a win for all. And we want to make sure that we do everything we can to create legislation that is a win-win for the state of Tennessee, and that we set the standard, y'all, that this is a pro-family group. So please use our hashtags, TN Fertility Strong, TN Infertility, or TN Fertility Advocates, hashtag pro-family.
Hey, Christina.
Hey, Dr. Julia just joined, and she is one of the ones I mentioned earlier, but she led the charge in Colorado and has been very helpful with providing resources. I hope you all have found this video so helpful. Thank you for being patient with us. So much good things coming. This is just the beginning, y'all. God is so good to just open one door after another. So please pray for wisdom and direction and connections along the way, that our story would be shared, your stories would be shared, and that advocates would know they're not alone. And that your story matters. So you matter, your story matters, and we want to do anything we can to help.
Yep. Thank y'all.
All right. Bye. Thank you. Thanks for watching.